Hello, guys. How's it going? I hope you guys are having a good, incredible day. All right, so today we're talking about an interesting topic. Three questions you should ask your real estate agent when you are buying a property. So I made a few notes here. If you see me looking at my screen, it's just so I can be able to remember the notes. So, number one thing you must ask your agent when you're going to view property and you are ready to buy a property is how long has it been on the market for? Why do you want to ask that question? I'm going to tell you just now. So, how long has it been on the market for just helps you understand, obviously, if the property has been there for a long time, maybe the prices have changed. They listed it at maybe 1.6, for example, and then after some time, they reduced the price to 1.550, maybe to 1.5, and the seller perhaps may be a little bit more motivated to sell right now than he was when he started, because most sellers are a little bit unrealistic about the market value, and they have the idea of this is how much I want from the property, and then they don't even consider what you might want or what the property might be worth in the market until they receive a lot of offers. And then maybe the hire agent number one, he's from Remax, he lists the property, and then he gets offers. Maybe they listed it for 1.6, for example. He gets offers for 1.450, 1.480, and then the seller rejects all those offers. Like, no, I'm not going to take anything less than 1.550, 1. Whatever. And then it stays for a month, for maybe the 90 days, which is his mandate, and then the mandate expires. And she gets another snake oil agent who says, look, I'll sell it at a good price, don't worry, etc. And the seller still is not accepting the reality that actually the property is not going to be selling at a good price as she was expecting. So what does she do? She gives it to the new agent. She's like, yes, I understand you. You understand much better. The Remix guy did not work very well with me. You are maybe Golding or Jowitz, and then you can sell it at whatever price. You have a history in the area. I want 1.5 and then or 1.550, and then maybe the agent wants 500,000 deposit, so they're gonna put it again on the market for 1.6 with a new agent. Obviously, there is a possibility that new buyers in the market might have emerged, and then they can just put an offer, and then the offer goes through. However, it's very highly likely that can happen, and you might actually just find out that actually the seller is tired now, and they are willing to just sell at the market price which a property is, working for. And what determines the market price, guys? The market price is determined by how much you and other buyers are willing to pay for anything. If I'm charging you guys, for example, I'm selling this jacket, and I'm like, hey, I'm selling you this sweater for 500,000, and I put it on the market, and then everybody gives me an offer for maybe 400 rand. And that's like, say, 5 people give me an offer for 450, 400 rand, another one for 1,000 rand, another one for 600 rand. So that means the market price is actually between those values. Is not the market price that I'm picturing in my mind. So the market price is determined by who? By the buyers in every market. So this is why it's very, very important for you to find out, hey, how long has this property been on the market for? Has there been only agents before who has been listing it? Or are you listing it alone? Is it multiple agents? Usually when it's multiple agents, is an agent sale required, and you need to get in there. However, it can get a little bit competitive, especially if it's well priced in a good location, or just be also keeping that in mind. But it's a very, very important question to ask. So the next thing you want to ask is, why is the seller selling the property? So the reason why you want to ask all these different questions is, with experience, right? You always going to realize, okay, I'm going to share my experience. So I did a lot of mistakes when it comes to real estate, and I did go to the trainings that told me look at distressed properties. I never understood why distressed properties and distressed sellers, and obviously they said you can find a good deal if you get a distressed property. Usually it needs a lot of cash, and if you're starting out, you might not have the cash unless if you have an investor who's backing you up. So you might have the advantage of using your bond if you have a bond, and maybe you need a lot of cash to do a little bit of renovations, and then you can be able to rent it at market price or maybe resell it if it's a flip. However, most people don't have the privilege to start from there. So they want to look for distressed sellers who are going to sell them bargain deals, maybe like a property that needs cosmetic fixing, but is sold at a good price. And for you to find a deal like that, actually, you need to know exactly why is the seller selling. Maybe the seller needs to sell because he got a job in Germany and he's moving from Gauteng and he has to move maybe the next 2 months or whatever, and he wants to liquidate most of his assets so he can move peacefully to Germany. And one of those sales, for example, they just don't want to be getting stressed out when they're trying to settle into the new country and the agent is calling and saying there's an offer on the table and doesn't like the offer back and forth. They just want to get stuff done, you know? Maybe there's a sudden death in the family, somebody inherited the property accidentally. Or maybe there is a divorce that's happening between partners who want to split. They don't want the property to stay on the market for 10 months. That's the last thing they want to do. They just want to sell it and get it done, and then they split whatever they have to split on that divorce as well. So those are some of the reasons. There's many more. You can actually go online and look for what is a distressed seller. It's just somebody who is distressed at the time based on any situation that might be happening. You just obviously giving them a price that is market related. I'm not advising investors who say they call preying on people's weakness bargaining. I don't advise that. I advise everybody who's a property investor to help the seller sell the property much faster, however, at a good market price, meaning that the numbers work and also market related prices as well that obviously the properties in the market are selling for. I don't support the idea of just doing a small offer and over negotiating and losing a deal over 50,000 rand or something like that. That's what a lot of new investors do, and I did it before. I promise you I want you to avoid to do that as well. All right, so the reason why you want to ask why is because the motivating reason behind them selling is actually going to help you get a nice deal. All right, so let's talk about number 3. How fast does a seller want the property to be sold? That's another question you want to ask. Do you want to sell it now? Obviously, do you still have time? Maybe it's new on the market and then the agent has a new mandate. Maybe they have their 90 days and then they want to be able to put it on the market for the 90 days and then see if they can get a lot of prospects. Some sellers also want to test the market as well. They want to say, okay, put it on the market for 1.7 and then we're going to get an offer for 1.650. Those are people who are saying, I'm negotiating. However, that negotiation might not even having the numbers working. So that's another problem as well that people get a lot. And I think you can avoid that as well. So here's an interesting thing as well is, some of it might be the agent's minute is about to finish. Maybe he has like 3 more weeks to sell. And he's been in the market for 90 days and you told the seller that I'm going to get you an offer. So you go, the seller rejected a few offers, but right now, because his minute is about to expire and he's probably not going to get an extension, you can actually take your offer and present it to the seller to say, hey, Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller, we actually got properties that were, we got offers before that were 1.5, 1.550, 1.4, and you wanted 1.7. It looks like this is what market dictates. Why don't we give this guy a chance? He's pre-approved, etc. And he's very keen to buy the property and he has plans for it. So the seller might also need some counseling from the agent as well. I think agents do a little bit of a better job with that. That's part of their training too. And if they do a good job with that, then you get to close a deal. I did some deals like that as well where I put in an offer this year and then maybe December so, and then the offer gets rejected. And then I was like, okay, if the seller is happy to look at the deal later on, my phone is there and then they can just give me a call. They actually didn't give me a call. I just went online looking for another property and I found the same property again. And I put in an offer and the minute was about to expire. The seller accepted the offer and we did a deal. And this is all based on experiences. Some of them were successful and some of them were mistakes as well. And I think you can avoid all of that by watching this video. So I'm going to give you a bonus question you need to ask your real estate agent when you're buying your property as an investor. Obviously, this is an obvious thing, but most people are scared to ask about negotiating. Most of the time when you find a property and it's listed on the market, it's saying 1.6 million. And you're like, okay, so it's 1.6 million rand and then what? So what happens usually is you want to be able to, look at your numbers as the investor. You buy based on numbers, not emotions. You look at your numbers and after if your numbers work, tell your agents, hey, how negotiable is this property? and then they might tell you, hey, the seller rejected an offer. Obviously, they're gonna sell. They have to sell. Plus, they have a commission interest as well. So don't just keep that in the back of your mind as well to say, hey, they're looking out for their own interest and the seller's interest. Unless if your agent is a deal maker who's been working with you for a while and you understand that they can do a few transactions with you as an investor, then it becomes a little bit more easier. But if they don't know you, you're new in the market, they haven't done any transactions, and they might be believing there's those ideas of agents say there's always a buyer, a willing buyer. There's not always a willing buyer. Some properties, they're on the market until the agent loses the mandate, and you can even go later on and put in a better offer. But what I wanted to stress was you must understand that the asking price is always negotiable. Everything is always negotiable. You can negotiate anything. I want you to, as an investor, to keep that in mind. And also, you must do the same thing when negotiating these deals. So this is why you must go on the market and ask the agent, say, hey, how negotiable is this price? If it's an honest agent, it's going to tell you, hey, the seller can accept anywhere between this and that price. And then you're like, okay, look, my numbers work at this price. Give me an offer. Let's put it in writing and send it. And then that's how you're going to be able to get your deal successfully. Most guys are very, very scared of challenging and trying to negotiate their deals with agents, and I don't think that's a fair thing. Otherwise, these are just the 4 things. I think the most important part, or most of all, is keep educating yourself. Watch these videos, go online. There's so much free education. We have free ebooks. There's a new guide we have about how to invest in real estate during COVID. Check it in the link description below. Download it, educate yourself, and learn as much as you can. And I want to talk about coaching in the next video, where this has nothing to do with more like pitching an idea. It's actually to show you what somebody who's done their homework and ready to implement, achieve progress or make progress in something that they're passionate about. Passion also counts as well, versus somebody who is half in, half out, haven't done their homework, is starting from scratch, and they're not following up as well. So you can already tell that these 2 people are not going to get the same results. And as a coach and a mentor for a lot of people, we get similar stuff. We get people who are very dedicated, done their homework, went online, watched these videos, and they're ready to take action. And you get people who are they need a little bit more push. And that is because they haven't done their homework, they're not motivated, and also they don't know the objective of what they're trying to achieve at the end of the day. But otherwise, guys, I'm excited to everybody who keeps watching these videos. More videos are going to be coming, and you're possibly going to be getting a video every day from now on going forward. Otherwise, guys, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Tell me what other topics you want to hear about, and see you later. Bye-bye.